what difference would it have made so much difference between January
it will have made a lot of difference. For instance, I will have saved enough money. Yes, I will have saved enough money. Possibly if I don't buy fuel, I will have enough money in my account saying, okay, they are going to deregulate. I'll be calculating within myself that I'll be paying 150. Then within a month, I know my salary will come. Look at how this thing is done. Many people are cut away in the villages because they have gone for this thing, and now they are going to come, and now they are going to come back paying double of what they paid earlier. Does it call for sincerity in governance? So these are the challenges. Now you talk about inflation, you are going to see a lot of skyrocketing prices coming on now, even right now.
But you don't see this tempering, or rather coming down to, perhaps this is just like a knee-jerk reaction we're seeing from both citizens and the petrol sellers themselves. Do you think that perhaps at some point when it all calms down, we might come to a point where everybody relaxes?
When is it going to calm down? Who is going to accept it? Nigerians are going to reject this. We can't continue this way. Buy fuel at 150 naira per liter.
Would you also agree, in fact, in the last couple of years, every other price in the system has gone up? Cost of food items and services have been going up or moderating, but this petrol price, 65 naira, has remained at the same price. It's not hasn't been moving according to present economic realities. So I know it's either it moves up or it moves down, but it hasn't been moving. But don't you think that's still, it's artificial? It has to move either upwards or downwards, like every other price.
Let me tell you something. You see, I don't want to go into it, but you will make me to go into it. In a barrel of crude oil, you get 159 liters. Now, in that barrel, you have other products. You have kerosene, you have LPG, you have LPFO, you have condensate, you have almost 10 pieces of products coming from one barrel. Now, out of that barrel is PMS, which we are all sensitive to, that borders on even the nation's security. Now, by the time you remove that and you add the price of all those things are marketable. They are already deregulated, except kerosene. Now, from 159 liters from a barrel, you know how much that one cost. Now, added it to, so we have made so much money that I cannot say we don't have money to finance this economy. I can't say that. More money is coming to the system. That the one we are seeing is the one they are declining to us. What happened to overproduction we are having? 640,000 barrels per day for the last 6 months. What happened to that? Is it accountable into the budget? No. How is the money going? No. We allocated 5,000 barrels to refineries. What is the percentage of refinery capacity in Nigeria? How many of this is being refined locally? What happened to the rest? And somebody is telling me that Nigeria we are spending so much money to subsidize. Okay. Is it not our product?
Okay, according to the federal government, now that this fuel subsidy has been removed to encourage competition in the system, we have more players coming in. We have more the private investors who have not been able to come into the country to build refineries. The so-called cartel or cabal, as they're called, will no longer be there, as it were. Do you agree?
I'm not agree. I agree partially. The reason why I agree is that definitely if there's open market, many people will come in to do one or two things.
And that, they say, would inevitably at some point drive the prices of this. So that's why I was saying that perhaps this is a knee-jerk reaction we're seeing. The prices will come down at some point.
Drive the price down in Nigeria. I'm skeptical about that word. You see, Nigerians are, especially these fuel people, they like, once the price goes up, it doesn't come down.
And there's something the federal government can do in terms of regulation to bring it down.
And even look at the PPRA said, he said 141. To me, it's like when you are increasing fuel price. PPRA shouldn't have said, what PPRA should have said the benchmark for fuel to be sold at filling station now is 141. So whoever wants to bring product can sell below that price, but it shouldn't be above that. The PPRA didn't say that. He said a pump price for filling station now should be 141. To me, that is just an increase like normal one we have at 65. That is just the pronouncement. The responsibility of PPR is to regulate the price and make sure that marketers subscribe to its activities. But unfortunately, what we have now is an increase in pump price of fuel. We are yet to see a food regulation or a system whereby the system will be deregulated. Now, as you said, it's true that many people will come to invest based on the sincerity of government, as I said earlier. That is government, our government, really sincere in this program it has gone to yesterday. How sustainable is this subsidy removal? So it will take some time. It's not something that people will now begin to jump over to come Nigeria. There are certain measures government we have to put in place to make sure that private investors came in. You know what happened to the 22 refinery licensee the other time? It's a simple thing. They need government guarantee to establish their refinery, which government refused to give them. There's something bad if government look at maybe 4 of them or 2 of them and see sincerity in them, call them together and have partnership and set up a refinery. Instead of say, okay, you have given licenses to people because the system is not deregulated, fuel subsidy have not been removed. That's why they are not in the country. It's totally unfair. And that you said the federal government said we want to remove his hand in fuel refinery. There is no country in this world that government doesn't have full participation or half participation or partial participation in fuel refinery. There is none. If you know one, just tell me that government doesn't show any sign. It doesn't allow private sector to run its economy for him or for it. I want to be educated. If there is anyone, even in Africa.
So what kind of market do you see playing out now that, apart from the fact that many people are seemingly against it, what kind of markets should we be looking at in terms of competition, prices? Because I know that according to the federal government, with increased competition, prices will come down after a while, and that a Nigerian can walk into choose between several petrol stations. I can walk into petrol station A, and if I'm not satisfied with the price, I could go to petrol station B to buy.
What we are saying now is another time. Right now, what is happening now is that I don't see the regulation working in Nigeria.
Well, I guess we're just going to have to.
I don't see it functioning. I don't see it working successfully as envisaged by federal government. Nigerians are going to react. There's going to be chaos. There's going to be crisis. So let's settle that first. Then we now talk about whether there is future in Nigerian fuel deregulation or not. I, for one, am not happy. The reason why I'm not happy, this morning I bought a liter of fuel at 160. After queuing for 2 hours at filling station. I know these are initial hiccups, but you see, there should be some processes in place that will not lead to this hiccup.
Okay, so in your own opinion, we should have more roads in place. We should have more.
We should have, perhaps
now 5,000 megawatts of power.
Yes.
National grid. All this will take time. Our developmental needs.
I don't like what we are saying that it will take time. What will take time there? Ghana, they just discovered oil. They started producing 2 years ago. It's not because they have oil, they have good road. It's not because of oil, they have oil, that they have constant power supply. All these things are processes, are plans that our government need to have envisaged. It's not something we can just decide one day and say we want to deregulate. No, we have to make sure that all those things are in place. People have alternative. There is enough. The system is well balanced to the extent that even if I'm going to buy fuel at 170, I know that I'm going to only buy for my fuel. For my car. I'm not going to buy fuel for my generator at home.
Okay. All right, Kayode, we're almost completely out of time. Let's, on the final note, what role should we expect the NNPC, the PPPRA to play henceforth? What kind of changes would we see in terms of operations?
The Department of Petroleum Resources has to be certain. Whether they are going to remove or do anything, they have to be empowered.
Okay.
The PPPRA have to be certain too, in terms that they have to be alive to its responsibility, which is to monitor, evaluate, and give specific instruction to the marketer at when due. But right now, to me, PPPRA has not performed that role.
What
PPPRA has done now is to announce to us that there is an increase in price, which is 141. So what I will have expected PPPRA to do was to tell Nigerians that so had been deregulated, you're the benchmark now, which is normal thing in any deregulation economy. You tell us the benchmark. The marketer should not move above that benchmark. Whoever among the marketers that move above that benchmark will be penalized. That has been the structure in any regulated economy. So I want that rules to come into being in terms of the penalty for whoever defaults, in terms of allow sell at above the specific price. The Nigerians need to know. Right now, all these things need to be. There should be some fast track in action that telling us these are the punishment for filling station or marketer or all those things. Then the type of product we are bringing have to be high quality products.